So The Flash is back. The show has returned, but based on where last season ended, is The Flash back? Let's talk about it. So season 4 takes up about 6 months after the previous season ended, where Barry went into the Speed Force, sacrificing himself to save the universe. And that's where things pick up here. Team Flash has now become Team Kid Flash or Team Vibe, depending on who is talking at the moment. And they're trying to keep the city under control, and they're having some success and some failures in the mix of doing that. Suddenly a samurai shows up that they can't defeat on their own, and he's demanding that the Flash appear for them, that the Flash makes an appearance. So this causes a bit of some division amongst them, and that's the setup for our episode. Overall, I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. There were some things about it that I found kind of frustrating, but overall, another solid addition to The Flash and fun. That's what I liked. It was fun as opposed to brooding, which was a nice return to form after last season got pretty heavy for a while there. Just so you know, what I'm going to do is I'll do a review over the next few minutes where I'll talk about the good, I'll talk about the bad, and in that I'll go spoiler free, and then in the second half of this I'm going to go into spoilers. I'm going to talk about the specifics a little bit more with some things. And also know, each week at 8 Central Time I do a live broadcast where I talk about the show immediately after it airs, take some questions, all that fun stuff. So if you want to tune in for that, be sure 8 Central Time, that's right after it airs live on television, Central Time. So if you want to join me, I'd love it if you would join me with that, or for that. Now let's talk about the good. Right off the bat, the show doesn't have Barry for here at the intro of the show because he's off in the Speed Force. And I thought the show really worked with just the cast, just with other people of Team Flash. They carried the show on their own. They were fun, they're dynamic, they each bring something different to the mix, and I enjoyed all of that. I thought that the sense of fun was back. There's quips, there's little jokes, there's the little names that they give to things, all that kind of fun stuff, and some interesting little CW TV budget superhero action, and they stretch that budget a long way, whether that's windmill fight battle sequences, samurais, or portals jumping all around. They did a bunch of stuff in the episode, so it made for a nice, fun episode. There's some interesting stuff they did with Joe. I'm a Christian, so the idea that they're having Joe go back to church, I thought that was a fun little twist to like show the diversity of what different types of people do, so I enjoyed that about the show. Without wanting to go into too much, I'll say that the teases as to who the big bad is, I enjoyed where they went with that, or where they're teasing that they're going with things. The end had several little teases to it that I liked a good bit. On the bad side, and this is where I'll be a little bit careful, they start to resolve some things quicker than I would like them to resolve some things. That's all I can really say before I go into spoilers. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, I'm about to go into spoilers. Going into spoilers. So my big problem with this episode, gigantic problem with this episode, I still like the episode, I still thought it was good, set the season up well, but my big problem with the episode, like last season, they set up this big cliffhanger, they set up this world-changing situation, and then they resolve it in the first episode. Last season, he changes the timeline, brings his mom back to life, and by the end of the first episode, he's back in the normal timeline. Things have changed, but we're out of that alternate timeline. You could tell half a season's worth of stories in that alternate timeline. Nope, one story, and we're out of it. This episode, Barry's back in the first half of the episode, and Barry goes bonkers. And by the end of the episode, he's back to normal. Even the end of the episode tease isn't like, he's still a little wacky, he's violent, he's screwed up. It doesn't even do that. That's frustrating. Because you could have even just done 2 episodes. Episode number 1, he's not in it all. So you really trust your show. Into the episode tease, boom, he comes back, he pops out of this force deal. Second episode, he's bonkers, and he comes out. They didn't even do that. We didn't even get 2 episodes before he's back. They just gave us 1. And it's just it's like wasting opportunity. They want to move so fast through their storylines. They don't trust the show to the other characters. And that's frustrating for me that they keep doing that. Now back to some good. So we got Gustin back. He comes back bonkers. I thought he did a good job acting while he was bonkers. I thought that was handled very well. So that's another thing that I enjoyed about what they did with it. So, all in all, a very solid episode. I like that they're setting up the Thinker as the main villain, so a guy that's tinkering with things. He's the mastermind behind what's happening, and he's not a speedster. We had 3 seasons of speedsters. Either they were the mirror image of Evil Barry, they were literally Evil Barry. Finally, we have a main villain that's not another guy that runs really fast. And so hopefully that means Barry's not going to spend the whole season going, I just got to learn to run faster. I got to learn. We can have him out thinking people, all sorts of different things. And also, what I wanted going into this season is for them to do more kind of like story arcs, mini story arcs, as opposed to just one big story arc. So last season, it was like 22 episodes straight. Who is Savitar? Oh no, we know who Savitar is. Is Iris going to die? Oh no, it's Evil Barry. And it was like this so stretched out, so heavy, so it kind of sucked some of the joy out of the show. So I'm hoping what they do this season, especially using the Thinker, that we get kind of like these 4-episode arcs or something like that. And so we bring in multiple bads as opposed to one big bad. And you have the overarching big bad, but you get little arcs in there. So you get a little more breaks in the story, a little bit of levity. You can go heavy, you can go back to fun. There's an overarching villain in it. So that's what I'm hoping that they're going to do with this. So that's my take on it. How about you? What did you think about it? Tell me down below in the comments section. If you enjoy me talking about this, be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 8 Central Time, about 8:05 Central Time. I'll go live to talk about it. We can interact back and forth a little bit. This week was a little bit awkward because some people tuned in. Hey, what is the show on yet? Like, yeah, the show's on. That's why I'm reviewing it right now. And so you can tune in, especially if you watched it. That can be a lot of fun to talk about the possibilities and everything that's happened with it. If you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos. But the key thing is I don't want to just talk about The Flash. I want to talk about The Flash with you. So join me in the comment section. Let's have a lively discussion. Join me live next week, and thank you so much for watching.